folks, Fat Guy Flies RC. Now, this is the Ailerons tracker, and this is the new Maiden. In that, yes, I've flown this plane before. When I flew it before, it was with the stock ready to fly transmitter and the Ailerons RC receiver that came with the ready to fly version. Well, as I explained in my updated guide for the newbie pilot on how to do forward programming and CG and dual rates and all that I use the Ailerons tracker, I removed the receiver that came with the stock ready to fly tracker and put in, thank you HobbyZone, and thank you for the plane, but HobbyZone sent me an AR631 and requested that I explain to someone how to do forward programming, installing a Spectrum receiver. So they had already sent me this plane, and I told them I planned on doing that, and they said, okay, well, we'll give you the receiver for it. And that's what they did. They sent me the AR631, and then that's why I did that, because my main thing is if you buy the ready to fly and then once you fly the dog mess out of it, you're ready for something else. Well, my advice is, if you're going to stay in the hobby and get more than one plane, you need to get a transmitter. And this is where your main investment is. So I like my NX10 because, number one, I can have 250 models. Yeah, I guess it's a goal. And the other thing is, you get used to it. It's like using your own instrument. If you're a professional musician, you want your toothbrush, you want to drive your car. You know, this is what feels comfortable in my hands. There's nothing wrong with the transmitter that came with it. You can fly the plane flying, but you're limited to only that plane. Whereas if you do this, like I explained in that video, you put a receiver in this and get yourself a good transmitter, which I recommend these NX10s. You can fly all kinds of planes, and this is where you put your money in your transmitter. But other than that, the plane is completely stocked. Just to change out the receiver, I'm using that same 1300 milliamp battery that came with it. Nothing else has changed in the plane other than I'm now controlling it with my transmitter. So I have safe, I have AS3X, and then I have the ability to turn the gyro completely off. That's one of the reasons why I did a third flight mode. Alrighty, we're going to start off with safe, take off in safe, land in safe. Then we'll take off in AS3X only and land in AS3X only. And then my big challenge, even though it's windy, I'm going to take off with no gyro and land with no gyro. All right, safe right off the bat. Timer set for 5 minutes. Going to try to fly it in the same pattern that I just flew, in the same manner that I just flew the Fat Guy Flyer, which is also a Ailerons tracker. All right, taking off in safe. And, well, you know what? I didn't check my control surface direction. Let me do that real quick. All right, right, left, up, down, right, left. They are very limited because it's in safe, so they're not very distinct. All right, here we go. And I can definitely tell I'm in safe. I not wanting to turn that much for me. I'm used to more control. All right. Let me get back here. Start killing my power. Line up with the runway. Trying to keep her straight. A little bit of throttle. A little bit of throttle, and then flare a little bit. There we go. Just a slight flare to let your mains touch first. All right. I'm now converted over to AS3X, which is nothing more than wind mitigation. It helps buffer the wind, the outside forces on the plane, to make a small, light foam plane fly like a much larger, heavier plane. But I have a lot more control now. I can go upside down now if I want to. All right, here we go. This is the way I normally fly. Yeah, definitely a lot more power. I'm gonna go straight up with her. Turn her a couple of times. There's proof that safe is not on. Okay. All right, we're going to turn back towards the runway, try to level our wings out, controlling our descent with throttle, and then just flare just slightly at the end. and set her down. All right, now let's get her turned around. And now we're going to fly with no gyro at all, no help at all, just straight control. All right. Turn my gains up a little bit.
Time remaining 4 minutes.
All right, here we go. Do the same maneuver. We're going to go straight up with her. Turn her. All right. Do need a little bit of up elevator trim. I noticed that earlier. Controlling my descent, leveling my wings, line her up the runway, and a slight flare at the end. A little too much airspeed there. All right. Now I'm going to go back to AS3X wind mitigation, and we're going to go have a little bit of fun now. Here we go. Take her up. A little bit of inverted. Yeah. Well, she's blended in with that sky. Coming right at us. Gonna peel away. And do a little bit of wind surfing now into the wind. All right, I'm gonna go back over here.
Time remaining 3 minutes.
Get turned around. Start killing my airspeed a little bit. Turn back towards the runway. Level my wings. Kind of line up the center line the best I can given the crosswind. And then slight flare at the end. There we go. And this is, you probably weren't even able to tell, but with this wind, but the AS3 actually is allowing that plane to buffer against this wind a little bit. As you fly and you develop what I like to call the feel, you'll feel that through your transmitter. All right, motor off. Did all 3 flights, flew for basically 2.5 to 3 minutes. Let's see how much juice we have left in the tank. Throttle is off, but get in the habit of being behind the plane if at all possible. What if you had a mechanical failure or electronic failure and your prop actually is live and something, you know, it's just a bad thing, very embarrassing thing to have to go to the hospital because you hurt yourself on your own toy. All right, I'll just tell you, I've got that 1300 all the way forward. And she seems to CG, and that stands for center of gravity. She seems to CG real well there. For after 3 minutes, still got 65%, but that's on a 1300. With the Fat Guy Flyer, I flew the same, a little bit more time, and I had 63%, but that's a 2200, and this is a 1300. So 5 minutes, hard, 4.5. If you're gonna, 5 minutes, you're gonna fly her hard, maybe 6 minutes on this battery if you're gonna take it easy. But I recommend getting a 2200 for this. She'll handle it just fine. They're inexpensive, and you can fly, you know, a good 6-7 minutes taking it easy and enjoy yourself. Come back at a 30% storage rate. Well, folks, that is the Ailerons Trekker turned into a plug and play from the Ready to Fly, which is what I recommend doing if you've already invested in a multi-plane transmitter like I recommend. And you just have, she's a good solid plane, great plane to have, good beginner, not just for the beginner, but also for advanced pilot and for intermediate, just a good solid plane to have some fun with. And she handles this wind just fine. Y'all have a good, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and don't forget, faith, family, and friends, and then Ailerons Trekkers. Bye-bye.